WKLM Boys Basketball Preview is being sponsored by Village Motors of Millersburg. I'm Matt Croy alongside Mike Kinsey, and we'll be joined once again by Jake Glasure and Brandyn Benter in just a little bit. The Hiland Hawks coming off their second consecutive season of going to the state tournament, following the Convoy Crestview in the Division IV state championship game last season. Mike replacing starting point guard and offensive stopper Andy Miller, along with leading scorer Kendall Hostetler, will be a tall order where the Hawks do have a solid core group returning.
One thing that you can count on with Hiland is they do know how to win. Traditionally, they've been sound. Kids buy into what they're doing over there. And like I said, they had the first opening game was pretty tough, but they played up a strong team up in Toledo, and I think that they're going to build from that, and at the end of the day, they're going to be true champions like they always are.
No doubt about that, Mike. Sam Habiger, of course, averaging just under 10 points per game, will be last season. Of course, will be asked to be a go-to scorer this year. While Will Schlabach will take over that point guard spot along with Hunter Summers at the guard spots as well. And 6'8" senior Corey Hostetler and 5'11" sophomore Chris Scheller combined with Habiger should provide good inside play this year. Listening out to Jake Glasure, who's alongside Hiland head coach Mark Schlabach at the Reese Center.
All right, I'm here with head coach for the Hiland Hawks, Mark Schlabach. Now, Mark, last two seasons you guys have played your way into the state tournament. What have been the toughest things to try to replace from some of the players who have moved on from those teams?
The biggest thing, just personnel-wise, we lost great defensive players. Andy Miller, maybe the best defensive player we've ever had here, but, our other seniors last year, Jared Raber, phenomenal defender. Kendall Hostetler, phenomenal defender. So the biggest adjustment we're trying to make right now is just how to get back defensively to where we feel comfortable pressuring the basketball and doing the things we want to do.
Now this season, could you just run through some of the main players who will be leading the way for Hiland?
Well, we've got two seniors. Sam Habiger has got the most experience for us. He's been playing varsity basketball since his sophomore year. Corey Hostetler, our post. Those two guys have been doing great, leading us in practice. And then our juniors that have played at a high level have been Hunter Summers and Will Schlabach. So those four guys are the guys we're leaning on here, and then we're just trying to, as the year goes on, develop some depth. And we've got kids fighting for spots, and they just need to keep getting better.
Now, early on into the season here, but what do you think will be the main strengths for this team this season?
Well, I would hope that we'd be able to rebound the basketball. We've got some good size. Even some of our guards are good rebounders now. Our first game the other night, they didn't do a very good job rebounding. It was one of the things that we're really disappointed in, but it's something we're going to try to keep getting better at because we feel like it should be a strength for us.
Now, you kind of touched on it here earlier, but how important will it be to create depth on the team this season?
Well, right now, that's probably the most important thing. We're used to playing 9-10 kids and wearing other teams out. We kind of, our first game against Toledo Christian, who's a really, really good basketball team, they wore us out. And we got in a little bit of foul trouble, and so depth is something that we work on it all year long. We put some kids in situations that are tough for them early in the year. It might cost you some games early in the year, but I think by the end of the year, it's really important to be able to play 8, 9, 10 kids and feel good about it.
Now, the last few seasons, the IVC has been very strong in boys basketball. What are kind of your thoughts on the Inter-Valley Conference this year?
Well, on the other side, you've got Malvern and Strasburg and Tuskegee Central, and we look at those teams because they're D4 and tournament teams. But then on our side, it's the usual suspects. Scareway is going to be really good. I think that Ridgewood has had a tremendous year athletically with football and other things. So I know they're expecting to have a big year. It's a situation for us where we've got a tough road. Every night it's a battle, and especially this year being a little less experience at the beginning. We've got to just come ready to play every night.
All right, well, thank you very much, Coach. Now let's send it back out to Matt, who's at Village Motors.
I'm back with Mike Kinsey from Village Motors. Mike, right into the year incentives going on right now.
That's this time of year. It's a great time. We've got 19 models. We got 20 models. The employee pricing runs through today, which is Monday. And like I said, there's good incentives out there. There's incentives on the 20. There's good lease deals. So, again, I think we got something for everyone, so come on down and see us.
And, Mike, you also have another promotion going on right now. What's that?
Yeah, right now at Village Motors, between now and Christmas time, you work your best deal, and then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to come over to the tree here, and we're going to pull off an ornament. It's going to have a cash value that you can take off the price of the vehicle. So it's in the giving spirit today.
Certainly is. Make sure you stop on by. Now's the time to buy now through the end of the year right here at Village Motors. Well, West Holmes looking to improve upon a 3-20 season or Jordan Widder's first season as the head coach for the Knights last year as they look to replace Shane Jones and Mekhi Johnson and await Peyton McKinney to get healthy. But we saw glimpses of some good young players last season.
Yeah, I believe this year, I think Coach is going to play a lot of people, going to have some fresh legs out there, which I like. You say to your kids, play as hard as you can, as long as you can, then we'll get you a break. But I think there's good things to come. I think, again, we have some good young talent out there that's willing to put in the time and the effort to become good players. So, hey, winning is contagious, and maybe as they can continue on and win, they're going to, like I said, win a bunch more games.
Yeah, got that win in that season opener over Loudonville, led by Garrett Eastep, along with Jacob Gowdy and Jacob Hammond, all scoring in double figures in that season opener. And, of course, Josh Schrock just missing double figures. A few names we'll be looking out for this year for West Holmes. Let's send it out to Brandyn Benter, who's standing alongside head coach Jordan Widder at West Holmes.
All right, I have head coach of the West Holmes Knights, Jordan Widder, here with me. Coach Widder, coming off the first season as the head coach, just what were some things that you were focused on improving during that offseason?
One of the biggest things was, buying in and sacrificing our time for something, bigger than ourselves. And so whereas we saw improvements throughout the season, last year we saw a huge improvement in the off season as far as investing in something and working hard to improve our skills both individually and as a team.
And as far as just kind of getting that investment, how do you go about getting guys to kind of buy into that system?
Yeah, it's hard whenever you're new here. It's hard to sort of get kids to see the big picture, especially if it's a far distance away. So, just making things fun and making things competitive. And then, as we see sparks and we see glimpses of improvement, it starts to really catch fire. And we saw that in our off season. Absolutely.
And then you got the big opening win this year against Loudonville. Just what were your thoughts on your performance in that game?
We executed the game plan really well. They played us really tough. They had a player score 30 points against us. He did a fantastic job, but we shot the ball pretty well. We made 7 threes in that game. We had 6 different players make threes, and so that was a big step in the right direction for us.
Absolutely. Always great when you get that team effort. Just could you talk a little bit about some of the players that you expect to kind of be mentioned quite a bit throughout the season this year?
Yeah, our seniors, Jacob Gowdy, Jacob Hammond, definitely guys that, we'll see in the newspaper, we hear about a lot. But, other guys, Xander Proper and Grant Baker are both seniors. And, they do things a lot of times that might not appear on a stat line that, especially here in practice, are extremely important to us. We have some other young guys stepping up, a guy like Blake Morrison, Josh Schrock handling the ball. So some other guys around him making some shots. And so we have good things going on, I feel.
And as far as the roster goes, how big of a deal will it be when Peyton McKinney is finally back healthy again? Is he going to be coming back this year?
So it's still up in the air. Yeah, it's a tough question to answer. Peyton was a big part of what we had done last year, especially towards the end of the season. He really came on for us. So he's a big part of what we do, there's no doubt. But the nice thing is that, we're playing 10 guys right now. So we have other guys that have really stepped up and filled that void the best they possibly can. So, yeah, no doubt we would love to have Peyton back, and we're awaiting that day for sure. But we have games to play in the meantime.
And as far as the games you guys are going to be playing, Ohio Cardinal Conference, always a difficult conference. Just could you talk a little bit about the conference and the opponents you're going to be having throughout this year?
Yeah, you name one of them, they're all tough teams. They really are. They give you a different element that we get, in our district or in our non-league. We play some fantastic competition, and so we have to force ourselves to become better and compete against those teams. And if we do, then it makes our job easier in other games as well. So top to bottom, solid. I have nothing bad to say about any one of the teams in our league. They're all very good.
Great to hear. Well, thank you for taking the time out to talk to us, and good luck in the season this year.
I appreciate it.
And that was Coach Jordan Widder of the West Holmes Knights. We'll send it back to Matt Croy, who's at Village Motors.
Make sure you check out the entire basketball broadcast schedule on our website at WKLM-FM.com and click on the On-Air tab. We'll be broadcasting 63 regular season games for West Holmes and Hiland boys and girls this year, in addition to broadcasting all of the games at this year's Classic in the Country. For Mike Kinsey, Jake Glasure, Brandyn Benter, along with Jordan Widder and Mark Schlabach, I'm Matt Croy. And this has been the WKLM Boys Basketball Preview, brought to you by Village Motors in Millersburg.